Hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday. Come on in. Pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. And for some reason, we've got the wrong date showing up. I just changed that. It's showing it's yesterday. I don't know. We're not off to a good start here, gang. I'll take care of that in just a second. Anyway, welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang channel, brought to you by, amazingly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So tonight is Thursday, June 1st. No matter what that's saying up there, we will change that in just a second. Which, that being wrong now is making me a little nervous if the news piece slides are going to be correct. They better be, because I double checked them. So I'm like, Anywho, this is live stream 927. If you're not overly familiar with the Gaming Gang Dispatch, you've probably already figured out it's pretty casual around here. Just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news, as well as normally sharing first looks at tabletop games. Tonight and throughout much of the month of June, a little bit different. I am sharing some live reviews. And tonight, I'm going to share my thoughts about Dungeon Crawl Classics Dying Earth Adventure 1, The Laughing Idol of Lar-Shann from Goodman Games. So we will be talking about this short adventure in just a bit. But first, I am going to dive on in. I am going to fix that date, because that will drive me nuts popping up there. Although I know once I get into the news and everything, it's not going to be showing the date anymore, but that is just irritating. That is so irritating. All right, just let me type things up a little bit here. Wow, this is such good content, isn't it? Pulse pounding entertainment every single moment of the show. Not really. All right, so that should be that. I gotta look into a new solid state drive here, because it is just not working correctly. It saves some things and then some things don't overwrite. I don't. We've seen it 2 shows. Well, this would be the 3rd. We've had a couple of shows where one of the slides, one of the images for the news pieces was wrong. So I don't know. I don't know. So now we get this. Now it's the date didn't change over when I replaced the image. So we shall see. We shall see. Anyway, welcome everybody. So if you are hanging out because you want to see the live review for the Laughing Idol of Lar-Shann, hang out. It will be probably about 40 minutes before we jump on into that, because if you're not overly familiar with the show, we do tackle the tabletop gaming news first. So if you're watching live, just kick back, relax, put your feet up. If you are a subscriber to the channel and have been for 48 hours or more, you might have something that will be able to occupy your time. I'll get to that in just a moment. But of course, if you're watching this 30 minutes or more after the show ends, there will be timestamps. So you can jump past the tabletop gaming news if you would like. I mean, there's a lot of cool news tonight. Yes, Tessie Trekkie already knows what one of the news pieces is. Anyway, so if you're watching after the show ends, there will be timestamps and you can jump ahead. And those timestamps are located in the show notes. And depending on what device you might be watching this on, it might be right there in the timeline in front of you. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you will not find on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Lastly, this is a live stream, so that means there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. And you must be a subscriber to the channel for at least 48 hours before you can take part in chat. Another way that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you want to say howdy, maybe you've got a question, a comment, maybe you want to talk a little Laughing Idol of Lar-Shann, by all means, chime in. I will do my best to respond. So let's see, who do we got in chat? Disavowed 92 is first out the gate tonight. And Kathy Evans is with us, as is Roger Prudhomme, Agent Especial, Joseph Qualm, Tessie Trekkie, as I already mentioned. And I think that is it for the moment. Joseph says they're interested in this review since when they watch the show, they laugh and they're idle. So sweet, 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 sweet. And there's some discussion of one of the news pieces that we will get to in just a bit. Agent Especial says, Jeff, you look thin. Are you eating well? Yes, I'm trying to lose weight. I am trying to lose weight. So it is, yeah, I'm fine. Well, I'm as fine as I'm going to be. So there you have that. But I am attempting to lose a bit of weight. I've actually lost 10 pounds. So I was very happy to put some shorts on that if I tried to put them on maybe a month ago, it would have been like, ooh, no. But yeah, I was actually wearing those today. So I'm like, yeah, cool, sweet. To be honest, I'd like to lose maybe about another 20 pounds because I weigh about 218 right now, give or take a pound. And I have been as heavy since the triple bypass. I think I've gotten up to 230, which that's just... Years ago when I lived in Arizona, I weighed about 185. So, and I'm, well, 6'1", but I guess as I've aged, I'm probably closer to 6 foot. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I would love to get down to like 200. That'd be awesome. That would be excellent. Although I don't know if I would look kind of gaunt or what, but I would like to get down to that. All right. So welcome aboard, everybody. Let's jump on into the news for tonight. Now that we have the correct date up there. And who just snuck on in? John Muscola. Hello, John. Good to see you once again. Arriving this summer from KOSMOS is Reiner Knizia's My Island. And here's what I know. After a long journey, you have arrived on a mysterious island. You build the first houses, create fields and paths through the jungle, and advance further and further inland. My Island is a legacy game. This means that your game changes and evolves as you play it. Everyone has their own island, which they redesign in each game. 3 games together form a chapter, and for each chapter, there is a sealed envelope containing new rules and various materials with which you can change your playing surface again and again. Experience the history of your island and discover its secrets in 24 fascinating games. Following the success of My City, which was nominated for the 2020 Spiel des Jahres, I think it's actually Spiel des Jahres, award, this legacy game by renowned author Reiner Knizia offers many innovations. My Island is for 2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up. It's going to play in around 30 minutes or so, and it will carry an MSRP of $39.99 when it arrives in July. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I had heard good things about My City. And I know some of you out there, if you have followed the Gaming Gang for a long time, I know some of you have this misconception that I dislike Reiner Knizia. I do not. I don't have anything against him. Only issue I have mentioned in the past was there was a period where he really wasn't designing new games. He was just reskinning, retheming designs over and over and over again. So we were starting to see some games coming out that had already been 3-4 iterations deep, which was kind of like, what? But I don't know, maybe he was going through a dry spell or something for a few years. But as of late, he has been releasing new designs, and they have been pretty popular. Sweet. Landing in stores also this, I believe this is arriving in August, is Sky Team. And here's the latest from Hachette Board Games. Sky Team is a cooperative game exclusively for 2 players, where you play a pilot and co-pilot at the controls of an airliner. Your goal is to work together as a team to land your airplane in different airports around the world. Silently assign your dice to the correct spaces in your cockpit to balance the axis of your plane, control its speed, deploy the flaps, extend the landing gear, contact the control tower to clear your path, and even have a little coffee to improve your concentration enough to change the value of your dice. From Montreal to Tokyo, discover 11 airports and 21 exciting scenarios inspired by real landing conditions. Wind, kerosene leaks, traffic, ice, and even an in-turn to train. Each airport comes with its own set of challenges. Watch out for the turbulence. Once again, Sky Team is for 2 players and 2 players alone. It's for ages 14 and up, plays in around 15 minutes, and will carry an MSRP of $29.99 when it lands in August. So I'm kind of curious, because I'm under the impression that you're not allowed to communicate. How would you have a pilot and a co-pilot of a jet not communicating? It's like, so that sounds kind of weird, to be honest. And you might be wondering, wait a second, kerosene leaks? Well, seeing that I have family members who actually work in the airline industry, some people don't realize that airline fuel here in the US, they usually call it like A1 jet fuel. It is a form of kerosene because of the low freezing, or I should say it's got a very low freezing point. That's why they use it. So it actually is kerosene. So it is correct. A kerosene leak would be a fuel leak. Russell Higgins is popping on in saying that they're looking at their watch and not believing it. One is unconscious or dead. I have no idea. I have no idea what Russell's talking about. Tessie Trekkie was pointing out that they like the Camel Caravan game that Reiner Knizia had designed. And Disavowed92 said, Circus Flocati. I'm not familiar with that. To be honest, I think I probably played only a couple of Reiner Knizia games. Just the way it's turned out, really. Anyway, Sky Team looks interesting. This could be kind of cool, but like I said, I'm a little curious about how you communicate between the pilot and co-pilot, or if it's like absolutely no communication. Because that'd be, like I said, that'd be weird and not really thematic. Let's talk about some role-playing game news, because there is a new Wasson adventure campaign. It's available for pre-order from our friends over at Free League Publishing. I've got the scoop on the Lost Mountains Saga. An ancient stone has been discovered in the dark caves of the mythic north. Protected for thousands of years by creatures no longer walking this earth, these sacred stones were never meant to be found. However, as is the nature of human curiosity and greed, exploitation soon begins with little regard for potential risks or consequences. The Lost Mountain Saga is written by actor and podcaster Eleanor DiLorenzo and based on her original podcast with the same name, but expanded and modified for this official release. The Lost Mountain Saga is an epic campaign of 5 mysteries for Vossen, the Nordic horror role-playing game. Players can expect to encounter ancient mysteries, old Nordic folk tales, social intrigue, and unspeakable horrors, which I guess I'm speaking about right now, lurking in every shadow as they travel across the north and slowly uncover the truth. The Lost Mountain Saga includes Chapter 1, Duty and Despair. Mysterious accidents plague the Swedish mining town of Falun, and a pious man takes it upon himself to get to the bottom of the problem, which he is convinced is the result of moral depravity and witchcraft. But something far more wicked is lurking in the dark caverns. Chapter 2, The Beginning of the Fall. The University of Uppsala is hosting an exclusive ball, rumored to reveal something that will shake the scientific community to its core. But in the midst of all the excitement, there are alarming reports that the asylum is getting overcrowded due to an unexpected uptick in admitted patients. Chapter 3, Where the Sun Dies. An island off the coast of northern Norway is in distress, and all previous rescue attempts have failed. As winter approaches, the authorities hire a team of experts to discover the truth. Taking a guess, that's going to be the player characters. What follows is one of the most dangerous missions the society has ever embarked upon. Then we got The Prince and the Witch. The ancient spring celebration of Valborg is close, eager to enchant those who participate. But within the rich history of the surrounding forests of the celebration, secrets are waiting to be uncovered. And then finally, we have the Lost Mountain Saga. An ancient stone has been discovered in the dark caves of the Abisko region in the north of Sweden. Protected for thousands of years by creatures no longer walking this earth, these sacred stones were never meant to be found. Right now, you can pre-order Lawson, the Lost Mountain Saga, for $36.65. I believe we are probably looking at an MSRP of $39.99. That's what I'm expecting. But because of the changes in the exchange rate, right now it's $36.65. And if you do order it from Free League Publishing, you will receive the preliminary PDF. I don't want to say beta PDF, but it's not the finished PDF yet, because there's even an email address that if you find things that need to be fixed, that you email. It's kind of like what Cubicle 7 Entertainment does with their PDF releases. But you'll get that immediately. So if you were to order it today, you'll get it today. So the expected release of the hardcover is going to be this fall. Kind of interesting. So I'm a little curious. I am not familiar with the Lost Mountain Saga podcast. I do believe it is a Lawson podcast. I'm not sure if it's an actual play. I don't know if it's like radio drama would be or if it's actual play. But I think it's kind of cool that we're going to see an entire campaign based on this podcast. Of course, expanded and fleshed out a bit more, but pretty sweet. I thought that was pretty wild. So keep an eye on this coming out physically this fall, or of course, pre-order it right now and get the PDF. Tessie Trekkie points out some of the Lawson releases have too much white space inside them. I will agree. And we have done some first looks, and that has been talked about during the first look videos that we have done live, where it's like, man, look at all this white space. And I actually have a Lawson review coming next week. And at the end of the show, I will let you in on what is on the horizon. And I gotta be honest, it is a book that it's got too much white space, and I will talk about that as well. So that is the Lost Mountain Saga. So Tessie Trekkie had mentioned this earlier in chat. I feel this is a huge news piece. Modiphius Entertainment has they did lose the Conan license. But I was not trying to say lost. See, my brain just works, ahead. Modiphius Entertainment has launched a bundle on DriveThruRPG, which will feature, or I should say features, everything the company has produced for the Conan Adventures in an Age Undreamed Of role-playing game. And you can get it all for a song. Here's the deets on the deal. Know, O prince, that between the years when the oceans drank Atlantis and the gleaming cities and the years of the rise of the sons of Arius, there was an age undreamed of, when shining kingdoms lay spread across the world like blue mantles beneath the stars. So I'm actually trying to channel both Mako and Arnold Schwarzenegger at the same time. You're welcome. Robert E. Howard's Conan Adventures in an Age Undreamed Of takes you into the world of, you guessed it, Conan the Barbarian, where heroes raise blood-spattered swords against dire sorcery. Exotic lands beckon to the daring. Danger and treasure lurks in forgotten ruins, and where loathsome creatures haunt the spaces beneath the earth. as well as in the throne rooms of mighty kingdoms. Seek your fortune in forbidden tombs or upon blood-soaked battlefields. Cast dark and terrible spells of unimaginable power at the price of your soul. Sail upon untamed seas to lands where no human in living memory has walked. Fight for the fate of civilization or barbarism on a savage frontier. Through the month of June, you'll be able to score over $440 worth of PDFs for $30 over at DriveThruRPG. Yes, you heard that correctly. $30 for everything that Modiphius Entertainment has produced for Conan Adventures in an Age Undreamed of, and it is a lot. No doubt about that. Now, what's being advertised with banner ads, in fact, I'm going to pop my banner ad up probably later on tonight, is that all the PDFs are 50% off. Which is true. If you're trying to fill your collection, if you've already got some of the Conan RPG releases, yes, that is true. They are half price. But the big bundle is everything for 30 bucks. So I am actually going to link that banner where it says 50% off to the actual bundle that's $30. So even if you have no love whatsoever for the 2D20 system that Modiphius Entertainment uses for many of their role-playing games, if you've got any interest as a game master running fantasy role-playing games in Robert E. Howard's world, you got to pick this up. There is so much that you can crib for your own games. There's no way you can pass it up. No way at all. I will be very honest, trying to convert 2D20 to D20 or 5e or even, say, a percentile system, a D100 system, it's probably not going to be easy. But as a reference point, this is like the North Star, baby. Like, wow. And you may recall, I have mentioned a few times as of late that we were going to keep our eyes peeled because the closer we got to Modiphius losing that license, the deals were going to roll out. Now, right now, the physical books are on sale through Modiphius Entertainment at a discount, but they don't have any of the core books. There's only a handful of the books that they've got available. Otherwise, I probably would have looked into it because I don't have any of the Conan books physically. And I've reviewed the core book and thought it was really, really well done. I'm still not like a major fan of 2D20. I like when it's used a little more rules light, such as like Star Trek Adventures. And it's a little crunchier with Conan. But still, as Agent Especial points out, this is a lore encyclopedia. And truth be told, Modiphius Entertainment did fantastic work with these Conan releases. So, Quantum Phase Dragon is with us and mentions that their fiance and them just watched the old Conan movies. My nephew Cameron just rewatched the first one. He has not seen Conan the Destroyer, and I told him it's like night and day. It's like two absolutely different movies. It's like almost kind of like Road Warrior and the third one, the one with Tina Turner. Off the top of my head, I forget. Oh, Thunderdome, Beyond Thunderdome. Once again, like night and day. Supposed to be same setting, same world, night and day as far as tone. All right, final news piece. There is a new setting available for the Savage Worlds role-playing game system. Here's what I know about Vermilion. Vermilion is a Western-inspired dark fantasy role-playing game setting for the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition. Explore a world of humans, elves, dwarves, halflings, Sasquatch, clockworks, and monsters built over the ruins of a long-forgotten industrial revolution, all scarred by magic. Delve into crumbling factory complexes, hunt dangerous bounties, terrifying monsters, and ancient artifacts, and harvest supernatural components to craft and concoct weird and wonderful remedies, weapons, and even new items of power to aid you in your adventures. You're going to need them. All this and more awaits you in Vermilion as you take on the roles of anti-heroes in a gilded, morally gray world of magic, machines, and manifest destiny. Vermilion comes from humble beginnings at the gaming tables of the author's friends, where it organically grew as they played it for many years. Since the campaign came to an epic conclusion in 2021, a number of award-winning adventures and character archetypes have been released through the Savage Worlds Adventurers Guild based on those stories. Now the world of Vermilion has been given life beyond the author's game table, as the torch is now passed to you to answer the call to adventure. It includes gazetteers for players and game masters detailing Vermilion's many regions, factions, myths, and legends. 7 bloodlines to play as well as rules for anti-heroes with multiple bloodlines for creating truly unique characters. 60 new edges and hindrances, new setting rules for hunting, gathering creature components and magical ingredients, crafting items and artifacts, and for playing anti-heroes. Rules for crafting adventures and encounters, as well as plenty of adventure hooks and inspiration. There's also rules for magical contraband and artifacts, and guidelines for navigating the treacherous black markets, as well as a formidable bestiary with nearly 100 profiles. The 202-page PDF of Vermilion is available at DriveThruRPG for $19.99. Could be kind of interesting. I like how I guess it's got kind of an Old West vibe to it. Of course, the Old West of the United States, because it's quite different than the Old West of other countries. So, and of course, every once in a while, it's nice for us to share a little love for some Savage Worlds setting. So Dan Kellogg has joined us, pointing out, yes, Beyond Thunderdome. Yeah, I don't know why it just didn't pop into my head there. Agent Especial said Arnie had said he would go to Spain to film King Conan if he was asked to do so. Agent Especial said they would make a pilgrimage to the set if that were the case. I gotta be honest, I think that King Conan is dead as far as anybody making that film, because I haven't heard any talk about it in the past couple of years. And I thought I ran across something where Schwarzenegger himself was saying that, yeah, it didn't look like he would be involved in any Conan films in the future. All right, so that is it for the news tonight. Of course, I was just talking about DriveThruRPG. So, of course, the gaming gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit, say, DriveThruRPG or Dungeon Masters Guild, Storyteller's Vault, what have you, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you like this video, if you find the Gaming Gang channel to be entertaining in any way, if you believe thegaminggang.com is a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, you can always stop on by paypal.me/thegaminggang and making a small donation. And thankfully, there are quite a few people out there who visit DriveThruRPG through our banner ads and or stop by paypal.me. So thank you kindly, everybody, because you are what keeps me around. That and some advertisers on the website, and that is it. So if you're not overly familiar with the Gaming Gang, I do not do Kickstarters to stay afloat. I don't do a Patreon to stay afloat either. So I try not to reach into your pockets, like on a monthly basis. Tessie Trekkie says they still maintain that Schwarzenegger's best film is Maggie, the zombie apocalypse movie. I like that movie too. I don't know if it's his best film because, to be very honest, there are a lot of Schwarzenegger action movies that I didn't bother to see. So, and I like action movies, don't get me wrong. Just took a pass. Like the Expendables, I've never seen a single Expendables movie. Not a one. And I've got nothing against them. Just like I've never watched any of the Fast and Furious movies. Once again, I don't have anything against them. It's probably not my, bag of tricks, right? To me, I look at cars as something from like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles when Steve Martin's at the rental counter, what he says. Alrighty then. So we are going to dive on in. I am going to review Dungeon Crawl Classics Dying Earth Adventure 1, the Laughing Idol of Lar-Shann, in just a few moments. Did want to mention a handful of things real quickly. And for one, it is June 1st. This is Pride Month. So if you are celebrating Pride Month, enjoy. On Twitter earlier today, I had shared that, I'd like to wish everybody, a happy and healthy and enjoyable Pride Month. But with so many people out there who are looking to roll back the rights that all human beings deserve, I don't feel right saying, oh, hey, because I saw a lot of people who were like, a lot of people who cover our hobby or who are part of our hobby were like, everyone's welcome at my table. Yeah, okay. What does that do to help anybody? Nothing. It's right there with, and once again, I'm not trying to call anybody particularly out. I'm just saying there are far too many people who think tweeting something on Twitter or posting something on Instagram or Facebook or any number of social media outlets or platforms means anything. It means nothing. Nothing. People are not changing the world through their tweets. So I had tweeted saying, rather than just tweeting that pablum of everyone's welcome at my table, I'd look to be a much more vocal ally this month because that means something. That does something. It reminds me of when all these people were putting hashtag BLM. That does nothing. Okay, yeah, all right. Well, you're showing your support, but it still doesn't do anything. Get some skin in the game, right? Anyway, so just saying. You know me, I'm just sharing my 2 cents. Hey, the other thing I want to mention too, there were some nice comments on yesterday's video saying, "You do you, Jeff." I forget, somebody had said, "Don't let the haters stop you" or something. I love you, provide your 2 cents, give them 3 cents. So keep in mind, yesterday I was just mentioning these things. It wasn't like, oh, woe is me or anything like that. Because the reality is, I don't let that kind of stuff really get to me. I don't. I mean, I get negative emails, I get negative comments. Usually if they're really rude or just, downright nasty, I will delete them and then ban that person from the channel. But I mean, for the most part, somebody doesn't like the show or the video or my approach and stuff like that, whatever, that's fine. My kind of canned response to that is, well, by all means, feel free to invest your time, energy, and money into your own outlet, and you can show me how it's done. I mean, go ahead. Game Master's Hobby is with us, saying glad they could join the live stream. So are we. We're probably more glad. And Testing Trekkie says, thanks, Jeff. It means a lot. I don't know how much it means. It's just, it is what it is. So here's the last thing I was going to mention. And it's kind of a question that I would like people to think about. I'm not asking for an answer in chat. This is just something for you to chew on. So here in the United States, we live in a country where we are supposed to practice religious tolerance. So people have different belief systems. We're supposed to tolerate that. So my question is, how much tolerance should we have for religions that preach hatred towards someone else? Personally, I don't think we should have any. But that's just me. I come from a firm belief that, people in this country they should have the same rights under the law as everyone else does. But yes, that is something through Pride Month you might want to keep in mind. Now, I know there are people out there who are far more enlightened, that they ignore those tenets of their religion that preaches hatred for whoever. It could be for the infidel. I'm not necessarily saying it's for, gay people or different races or anything like that. I mean, it just might be hatred to people who don't practice their religion. How much tolerance should we show or have? I don't think any. But like I said, that's just me. Once again, my 2 cents. All right, so we're going to jump on into my review of the Laughing Idol of Lar-Shann in just a couple of moments. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat.
Hungry? Then here's a flavor hit. Enjoy tasty pit-cooked barbecue sandwiches with the big flavor of the barbecue pit. Castleberries cooks them long and slow over hickory coals that cook with a glow. Then zesty barbecue sauce is added to these lean cuts of meat to make your Castleberries pit-cooked barbecue sandwiches the tastiest kind of treat. They're delicious with French fries and your favorite soft drinks. Visit our snack bar now. You'll always find Castleberries pit-cooked barbecue and other good things to eat at our snack bar.
No, I'm not going to drink any more Wilkins instant coffee. No, he's not going to drink any more coffee.
What's the matter? Oswald! You've got trouble. When you turn your ignition key on, all these electrical parts should join hands and work as a team. But one part is holding out. We've got to get you into our service department for a tune-up. There. Now all the electrical parts work together like a team. Boy, what a difference! She's raring to go. Right, Andy. And to keep your car running right, periodically treat the electrical system to a tune-up at your authorized Autolite service station.
Where you find men who are specialists on the electrical system of your car, trained under Autolite supervision. You get complete service at this dealer.
For something that was supposed to feature Andy Panda, that rabbit seems to have gotten all the screen time. The Autolite Rabbit. Trying to remember what old-time radio show, which was pretty popular, was sponsored by Autolite. For some reason, I think it was something like Escape. It was one of those like thriller shows. I don't think it was The Shadow. No, because Shadow, most of the old Shadow episodes with Orson Welles as the Shadow were Blue Coal. Nero's Fiddle and Wraithing are with us. Nero's Fiddle says, they accept everyone except those who drive slowly in the left lane. Those bastards gotta go. Damn you slow drivers in the left lane. Wraithing says, they always like when Malcolm X said words to the effect of, if we could all rely on human rights, we wouldn't need civil rights. Cool. All right. So tonight, I'm going to dive on in and review Dungeon Crawl Classics Dying Earth Adventure #1, The Laughing Idol of Lar-Shann from Goodman Games. It's written by Julian Burnick with artwork provided by Errol Otis, Jason Edwards, Doug Kovacs, Aaron Creeder, Cliff Karowski, and Jesse Moan. The 20-page softcover adventure is available with PDF if you order it from Goodman Games for an MSRP of $9.99, or you can grab the PDF alone at DriveThruRPG for $6.99. Joseph Qualm is asking, did anyone notice the dude in the Castleberry ad looked like Ryan Reynolds? I'll tell you one thing I did notice is that bite that his date, I assume it's a date, took of that sandwich was practically invisible. It was like, okay, ooh, ladies don't take big bites. Yeah, whatever. Eat however you'd like. Swing it over to the other camera because here I've got The Laughing Idol of Lar-Shann. We'll point out that's not spelled correctly. It's supposed to be 2 N's. Joseph Quam says, it was a dainty nibble. Yeah, but, that meal would have taken probably 2 hours at that rate. A few things I do want to mention before we take a peek inside. First of all, the fine folks over at Goodman Games were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this review with you. These days, it's important that you know that. Also, we're not going to look at each and every page, but I do want to give you a good feel for this adventure. And lastly, this is an adventure. So if you are a player hoping your game master is going to run this adventure for Dying Earth, for Dungeon Crawl Classics, then I would definitely recommend tune out now, because there are going to be spoilers. I'm going to try to stay away from major spoilers, but I do have to share some information about what goes on in this adventure. So you don't want those surprises ruined just because you are watching this review. But of course, you may want to let your game master know about this video. So Sarah D is chiming in. She's been lurking. Says the woman in the Castleberry ad was trying to figure out how to eat that sandwich without eating a ton of lipstick too. She also points out eating with lipstick on sucks, which is why she doesn't wear it. Kathy Evans says Gasoline Alley had Autolite as a sponsor. I gotta be honest, I never listened to Gasoline Alley. Wasn't that based on a comic strip? I could have swore Gasoline Alley was a comic strip. And radio show. I'm just saying I didn't happen to listen to it. And once again, I say this every once in a while. If you're a game master, I cannot recommend listening to old-time radio shows enough to help you understand how to present a situation, how to visually paint something only with words. It is amazing. I mean, some of it is pretty hackneyed now, but like the best, like Gunsmoke, Suspense was good at that. Johnny Dollar, that was also pretty good. All right, enough of that. Let's take a look at the back here. For centuries, the remote village of Pumariel has suffered the tyranny of the demon Lar-Shann. It's kind of funny because here it's like one end, there's two. His bellowing idol and his power-mad monks. Now you are sent to Pumariel to retrieve a priceless bottle of locally made brandy. But to find it, you'll have to journey into the demon's temple and brave the terrors below the Laughing Idol. So let's jump on in. So I will point out, if you are watching live, I am going to give away a PDF copy of the Laughing Idol of Lar-Shann at the end of this review. So stay tuned. I will make it super easy. So this adventure, it has a pretty good Dying Earth feel and vibe to it. But I will point out, it almost feels more like a Dungeon Crawl Classics, kind of a bit of a gonzo adventure, as opposed to really latching on to that Jack Vance universe. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't feel at all like a Dying Earth story. It does. But I think much of that is going to kind of fall to the game master running it as opposed to what is presented in this adventure. So what happens here is that there is this village which the people are subject to this, well, it's supposed to be a demon. And every year they have to sacrifice a young person to this idol. So underneath the idol is actually a location. It's a small dungeon. And it's where these monks live. And the town worships this demon as a god. And the monks who live underneath have kind of degenerated. And there's this brandy that they drink, which is actually, it presents you with, it provides you, I should say, with immortality. So some of these monks, the further down into this temple you get, some of these monks aren't really even human anymore. So this is actually really interesting, and it does have that sort of everywhere the player characters turn, it's always going to be like bad. It's going to go from bad to worse. And there are some pretty interesting set pieces to this. And one of them is they encounter the chef. And the chef is this insectoid, kind of ant-like creature from another world. Because in Dying Earth, there are entities that aren't from our universe. So that's where like demons come from. They aren't really part of, you know, the Dying Earth. They're from somewhere else. So this ant creature, who is intelligent and speaks, is the chef. And he prepares this like huge feast for the player characters, and it's all delicious, but it's like really bizarre stuff. And as the player characters continue to eat, they have to make fortitude saves so that they don't get sick. And of course, this ant chef has this like massive ego. So if you upset him, he'll attack you and try to kill you. That's what this artwork is. That he actually kills one of the Vat Thing characters, I should say. So Joseph Qualm says this Dungeon Crawl Classics module reminds them of old Dragon magazine modules from way back. Yeah, this sort of has, it's got a Gonzo vibe, which is pretty par for the course for Dungeon Crawl Classics. And I would also say that there is a little bit of a funhouse aspect to it as well, where every location that the player characters go through in this temple doesn't necessarily mesh with the other area. The like dungeon ecology is a little wonky, which is okay. This is a short adventure. You can easily rock this out, depending on what kind of players you have. Because if you have players who have to stop every 5 minutes to like game plan their next step, it's probably going to take you a couple of sessions. 4-hour sessions is my guess. But if you have some relatively normal, average players, you should rock through this in 4, maybe 5 hours, depending on how much combat the players get stuck in with. So another aspect that I think is kind of cool is that these monks haven't gotten their essentially it's their sacrifice for the year. And the sacrifice, the young person that gets sacrificed actually kind of becomes a servant of these monks because they make this brandy. And there's this tree, this creepy tree. We already saw a picture of it up front right there. And it drains the life from you. So that's why they need a new sacrifice every year, because the previous year's servant dies. Well, they haven't gotten their sacrifice. Now the sacrifice was made, it just hasn't made it to the monks, and they're pissed. And there is like almost like a speaker system in this idol, so they're always calling, they're getting more and more desperate and more pissed off about where's our sacrifice. We want our sacrifice. And eventually the player characters will confront the main monk, who is not even close to being human. And one of the cool things about the huge idol is that it can actually be manipulated. It becomes like a giant kaiju destroying the village if you want to get to that point. And I thought that was kind of funny. And that sort of reminded me almost like a little bit of a throwback to the Baba Yaga adventure for Dungeons and Dragons, where you had the little Godzilla in the model of Tokyo, except on a larger scale. All in all, I like this adventure. As I mentioned, I feel that this is more of a Dungeon Crawl Classics vibe than the Dying Earth, but that doesn't make it bad. I like it quite a bit, but I could also see some people having some problems with it because there are some assumptions made that your players are going to do certain things. And we know players don't usually do what you expect them to do. And I think the finale of it, once we have the giant idol, what it says, like concluding the adventure, is a little anticlimactic, a little bit of a letdown. Not terribly, but I do think the brandy is cool, and how the brandy is made, which the players are going to find out. I think all of that is really interesting. So this is a fun adventure. It may not necessarily be a fantastic adventure. So on a scale of 0 to 10, I give Dungeon Crawl Classics Dying Earth, The Laughing Idol of Lar-Shann, a 7 out of 10. I think it's good. And I think you'll like it. And I also have to point out that if you are going to purchase a variety of, let's say, more than just one adventure for Dungeon Crawl Classics or Lankhmar, remember we had those two bundles going on with DCC Lankhmar, or Dying Earth from Goodman Games, it really does make sense to actually get the adventure itself as opposed to just the PDF, because you get this and the PDF for $9.99, whereas just the PDF alone is $6.99. Now, having said that, if you only want one adventure at a time, then I would probably say, yeah, just get the PDF, because the shipping is going to kill you. So, Raything says, Monk's Distilling sounds like Buckfast Abbey in Devon. They make tonic wine that used to be a preference for northern drunks. Alrighty, so as I mentioned, I'm going to give away a copy of this adventure. So let's see. Well, because I was talking about the oddball Ant Chef, if you want to get in the running, and I will be rolling like a 20-sided die, what have you, depending on how many people get in the running for a copy of the PDF, which, as you can see, I'm going to use the code that I've covered in painter's tape there. What is the most unusual item you have eaten? I will give you folks a few minutes to provide your answers. And while you do, I watched the finale of Ted Lasso last night. Kind of a bummer. It's the end of the show. I know there's some talk that there might be some spin-offs or things along those lines. And that'd be cool. That's fine. I think on one hand, I'm sort of like, well, you know, this third season was kind of uneven. Don't worry, I'm not sharing any spoilers. But it did. The last few episodes were really good. They really felt like Ted Lasso episodes. So if there was a fourth season, I don't know. I mean, I'd rather have the show go out kind of on a high note as opposed to, oh man, that, it not only did it jump the shark, it sank. But then on the other hand, I'm kind of like, I'm going to miss Ted Lasso. So something else I would point out is that I'm not sure if any of you out there have watched this on Netflix, but I get a kick out of Documentary Now. They've had, I don't know if it's recently the new season came out or if I just missed it, but they actually take famous documentaries and try to match the style and look with some really oddball kind of take. So there was one, it's the first one of the latest season, and it has Alexander Skarsgård in it. And he plays like this Werner Herzog kind of character who is at the same time filming a documentary about the Eurasian peoples of the Russian steppes and shooting a pilot for CBS of some lame-ass comedy. It's like, it's so bizarre, but it is so funny. It really is. Tessie Trekkie says kangaroo tail stew. A wild nut damper with blue gumwood grubs sauteed in a garlic butter on the side. It is indigenous Australian style. Game Master's Hobby says most unusual thing they've eaten, ants and crickets. All right, give you guys and gals a few more moments out there. I would say the most unusual thing I have eaten, not really all that unusual. I mean, because you can find restaurants that serve this in most larger cities, but I have had buffalo, ostrich, snake, rattlesnake, and there's one other. Trying to think off the top of my head. Alligator. I've had alligator as well. So, and they were all excellent. Really, really good. It was a long time ago when I had the buffalo. Well, it's all been a long time, but the longest was like buffalo and the ostrich, because that's got to be almost 30 years ago that I had those. Kathy Evans says fried snails. There you go. That's weird. Oh my gosh. Agent Especial. Snails with chorizo sauce and guinea pig, because it's a delicacy there. Oof. Sarah says they don't want to be in the running, but bear jerky was pretty interesting. There you go. Tessie Trekkie says they got a crocodile kebab in Darwin once. Thing I remember about alligator was it did taste almost like chicken. It had a chicken-y taste, and it was kind of chewy. It was relatively chewy. Okay, so what do we got here? We've got, who was first out the gate with this? Tessie Trekkie. So we've got Tessie Trekkie, Game Master's Hobby, Kathy Evans, Agent Especial, that's 4. Wraithing is 5. And I guess we'll put Sarah D in there for 6. I know she said I don't have to be in the running, but let's see what we get here. All right, just for the heck of it, we will go back. So you can see the 6-sided die. Here we go. Number 2. Number 2, if I remember correctly, is Game Master's Hobby. Yes. All right. So Game Master's Hobby be sure to email me, Jeff McAleer at thegaminggang.com, and I will get you your copy of The Laughing Idol of Lar-Shann. Sweet. Cool deal. Because I figured I don't need the PDF. I got the book. What do I need the PDF for that came with it? Alrighty. So that is it for this time out. Next week, I am going to be reviewing Mythic Britain and Ireland for Lawson, as well as, I know a lot of people have been waiting, wondering, when was this review ever going to arrive? It is Empire in Ruins for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. So I will have my review of this, as well as, and it's been quite a while since we did a first look at this, and I'll explain real quickly, and I will also when I do the review. So, Hard City from Osprey Games. So, the Osprey Games role-playing games I sent out to somebody who wanted to get on board and do reviews. They were going to do video reviews that I was going to upload to the channel, and then they got the games and did nothing for months. And I was like, come on, man. Like, you gotta either get me some content or you have to send me these books back. And they sent the books back. So, hey, at least I got them back. So, because for a while I was thinking, yeah, okay, I'm never seeing these again. All right, so Quantum Phase Dragon says they've had Buffalo Burgers. Nero's Fiddle says, yes, Hard City. I really wanted to learn more about that game. You will. If you did not check out the live first look, which I gotta say, I think it's like the end of last year. Because this came out, I think, in like December of last year. You'll get a kind of a feel. Of course, won't be as detailed as the review, but you'll get a bit of a feel for it. I thought it's very interesting. I thought, I know I'm giving a little bit of it away. I thought the approach it takes with the stories that it's looking to tell, I liked it. And it's a little different. It's a little different. It's not, just, oh, it's a D20 system or things like that. All right. So that will be next week. So we will see reviews on the live show in June. I'm not going to say it every single show is going to be a live review, but we are going to have some live reviews this month. So stay tuned. All right. So if you were watching live, thank you very much. If you watched live and took part in chat, tip of the cap, because you not only keep each other company, you also keep me company. But more importantly, you're keeping each other company as I babble on about different things or reading sell sheet info and stuff like that. But I know there are a lot of people out there, they don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. Really does mean a lot to me that you take time out to watch any of the videos on this channel. Should also mention another contest I've currently got going on. I forgot to mention it last night. Almost did not mention it tonight. But from last week through June 14th, you have an opportunity to get into the running to win Forbidden Lands in PDF, as well as the Blood March and Book of Beasts, which are releasing this month in PDF. One lucky viewer is going to receive that. Super easy to get into the running. All you got to do is be a subscriber. Hopefully you give a thumbs up to the video you comment on, but more importantly, comment on one of the live shows, one of the dispatch shows, It can't be like, hi, Jeff, but just, comment about something you saw on the show. You're in the running, and every show that you comment on gets you an entry into the contest. So even people who were commenting last night about me talking about the people who get mad about the news, that counted. Those were entries into the contest. So, and then on the 15th, I will reveal the winner. So this is it for this week. Of course, I'll be back next Tuesday with that Mythic Britain and Ireland review. So everybody enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great weekend. And, of course, like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. It'll also let you know about other videos I upload, and we will have some more videos later on this week, including my latest edition of Why You Should Play. And I will share a role-playing game and the reasons why you should play it. All right, everybody, take care. Hope to see you all on Tuesday. And until I see you next time, here's hoping each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.
Oh, hey, you're still here. That's okay. You don't have to leave just yet. In fact, why don't you subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel right here, or take a peek at the latest live stream, or even find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks again for watching.